Session, having said all of this, the double standard, and look at the way the entire world, including the Supreme Court, went after Nupur Sharma, but for Mahua there seems to be a bit of a long rope. Be that as it may, leave all of that aside. There may be an element of truth or fact to what she said. There are parts of Bengal where goddess Kaali is given meat and given alcohol as bhog. There are at least 2 Bengalis on this panel, and they would vouch for it. There are other parts of India where there are temples where alcohol and meat are given as prasad to gods. It is not so much that, it is the manner in which she said it and in the context in which she said it. If the context and the question that was asked to her was about the poster, and the poster depicts the goddess smoking and having an LGBTQI flag in the other hand, I can't think of all the thousands of deities that Hinduism has across this country that any god is shown smoking or having the flag of the LGBT community in his or her hand.
Yeah, absolutely, Zaka. Shaivism is a tradition which follows very different precepts and norms. I mean, I am a Shaivite, so I've grown up with, the kind of practices that are followed in Shaivism. And you're very right. Right here in Delhi, there's a Behron Mandir where alcohol is offered. You have the Kamakhya temple in Assam, which does accept, accepts animal sacrifice. And in Bengal, I'm sure there are temples where meat is offered as a votive offering to the god. There are temples in Kali temples in far off Madhya Pradesh, where I know that animal meat is offered again and distributed as prasad. In fact, in the Kamakhya temple some years ago, there was a ban on distributing meat to the devotees, and there was a big protest because they were used to getting their prasad on a certain day of the week or the month, and then the temple had to restore the practice. So that is one aspect. Now, here the whole controversy seems to have emanated from a film which is being made by a Toronto-based filmmaker. She's not in India. So she took the creative license to put up a poster which shows, Ma Kali smoking. Now, I am not somebody who's going to say that there should be curbs on artistic freedom or artistic license. No, that is absolute. No compromise. However, for a politician to jump in is really treacherous. I mean, here you're wading into murky waters, and there is bound to be controversy in Bengal, where Ma Kali resonates much more than Ram or Sita or Krishna. I mean, Krishna may be in parts where there are Vaishnavas, but certainly Jai Shri Ram resonates far less than Ma Kali. So Mahua Chatterjee is a bit of an outlier in her party. She's kind of used to saying things, but I think this time she has really got the Trinamool into trouble. The Trinamool is going to have to find a way out of the whole thing. Whether they take further action against her or not is left to the party, but there will be a lot of answering to do in Bengal, because I think she's touched a very
Professor Nandi is also on the broadcast
Bengali.
with us. I said this on yesterday's show as well. One of the things that we tend to overestimate or we tend to overlook is, look at the so-called perceived insults that have been made. Let's say, I'm just taking the example of one Abrahamic religion, that of Islam. From Charlie Hebdo to the Danish cartoon to the teacher Samuel Paty in France, they were all at the receiving end because they showed a caricature of Prophet Muhammad. And the response to that, or the appropriate retributive action to that, was their killing or their beheading. Whereas no one here, at least as far as I've checked, no one here is asking for Mahua's head or asking for Leena, the director's head. Right. And I think that therein lies a story.
Right.
Therein lies a story.
Yes. Can I come in?
Yes, Professor Nandi.
Yeah, should I come in, Jaka?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah, Zaka, actually, in Hinduism, Hindus are seekers, not only believers. And Hinduism have always believed in Sarve Sukhinam Bhavantu Yaham Brahmasmi. So that's why, there is an ecosystem which Mahua is a part of that has mastered the art of hypocrisy. They will dare not say anything about the other community, but they will try to grab some headlines at the cost of offending the Hindus. And now I will tell you, her party has emboldened her because she is a repeat offender. If you remember, Zaka, the way she demeaned Lord Shiva before, and her party never said anything that time. In fact, TMC, if you remember, there was another woman, Shayani Ghosh. She made a very dirty cartoon of Lord Shiva. TMC rewarded that lady, gave her a ticket for election and even gave her a big post. So that's how they have emboldened these people to appease a particular vote bank. Now, why has TMC distanced it? I will tell you, Zaka. Because Mamata Banerjee now has the aspiration to become the PM. So at this stage, she doesn't want to offend the Hindus in the other parts of the country. And I'll tell you another thing also. In Bengal, they have played on this outsider thing. They have always, and Mahua also has tried deliberately to wedge a difference between the Bengali Hindus and Hindus from the other part of the country. She has tried to show Bengali supremacism. In the last year, during election campaign, if you remember, the regional chauvinism card and Bengali supremacism card was played, and people from outside were called outsiders, and there was an effort to show that how Bengalis are superior. Here also, she wants to show that Bengali Hindus are different from the other Hindus, and we eat non-veg, so we are more progressive and all those things.
Okay.
And coming to Kaali, yes, there are some tantric practices, ritualistic practices were offered meat and alcohol, but that is offered to the Yakshinis. You will see Yakshinis, Dainis. So please know what is Kaali. She is the goddess of Kal, consort of Lord Bhairav. She represents the time, Mahakal, time, life, death, rebirth and liberation, Jaka. She is the energy inside us that represents wildness, empowerment and love. And she is that energy that is for our growth and transformation. She is that energy that represents our life force within us.
So let me ask Dr. Dastidar to respond to what Professor Nandi just said. Dr. One second, right. Professor Nandi. Dr. Dastidar, during the election campaign last year when Bengal went to polls, Mamata Banerjee herself revealed that she's a big Ma Durga devotee and she recited the Chandi Path. Why then, again it comes back to the question, why then has your party seemingly given Mahua Moitra the long rope here?
Well, first